who was like actively looking for him on the trail, and he was really nice and just like took it really seriously. It was nice to see.
Mm. I can tell you guys this too. Actually, when ACS pulled up, there was a hiking couple that were there. They were on their way to call the police because these two. Oh, I totally forgot that entire part. I forgot. The farrier took him to the gas station, and when he took him to the gas station, he left the horses unattended. Um, do you know how they were tied? Were they tied? Do you know? I bet you they were just tied like to a fence or something.
Um, from the looks of it, it seemed like they might have been tied to trees.
Okay, that makes sense because that's how he's been doing it. Okay, I'm finally home. Wes, let me find you. Wes, say something so I can add you in. Been really fast, and they disappeared into the woods, and they didn't get their phone out at the right time. But if he did it then, he's gonna do it again. But now we have an actual lawful order and vindication that there is an issue. Where's Wes? Gosh darn it. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can get Wes in. Oh, accept. Got you, Wes. If he's even still there. Okay, so um he tied the horses up and he left them to go get gas, or not gas, food, beer. He went to go get beer, is what he went to go get. Sorry, I just dropped something in my car and I got distracted. Is Wes in yet? So yeah, can you guys hear me? Shit. Can you guys hear me right now or no?
Yeah. Did you get
Oh,
did you touch on the conversation that the property owner had with him this morning?
no, don't say anything. She does not
Got it.
want to be mentioned at all.
Okay.
That's why, yeah, there's certain people I'm not going to mention because they want to remain 100% anonymous. They don't want him to know. So her conversation, we will have to share, unfortunately, like at a later date when he's not anywhere near. She's afraid of retaliate. We're just telling you what happened today. It's already passed. We've been vindicated in knowing that these horses are being abused. We also know that not only is he beating Pete to move, but Pete also has a very swollen hock that he's putting absolutely no pressure on. Um, so this is not telling you anything that's going to change what he's doing or the path that he's on. He's on the path he's on. Oh, where's Wes? Wait, where you be? Okay, let me accept. Trust me, you guys, I only tell you guys what what we know is going to be okay. Like we don't tell you guys everything until after. Just like this last 2 days, we've been nearly silent unless we want him to move from where it is that he is.
We're damn militaristic.
Ooh, light. Let there be light. I'm in my car, but I'm not driving. Oh, so the
So,
hiker.
uh,
Yeah, so hold on one, sorry, I was in the middle of the story. So when the hikers came across, the hikers were actually going to call for two starved horses that were sitting down there, and they also made a statement to ACS on those horses, and they know nothing about it. They just saw two starved horses tied to a tree or a fence line or whatever it was. Okay, go ahead.
so how far did y'all get on him telling ACS about having a vet appointment?
Well, we just knew that he had a vet appointment, but I don't remember where
So
we went from there. So I was
the way
totally
that came off to me, telling them that, oh well, I have a vet appointment. Like, to me, that adds credence to his claim to have a PPE that he told the farrier, but it also gives him an out if he's not implying that it's PPE and just, oh well, I have an appointment, making it sound like, well,
yeah,
no, I've got, I'm taking him in for this. And so
yeah.
I think that adds credence to his telling the farrier he has a PPE. Now we just have no idea when, where, whatever.
Yeah, so if anybody knows where he would be getting a PPE going into Spokane or in Spokane, let us know. That would be great. Or if anybody is the one that is getting the PPE, that would be freaking phenomenal if you could contact us.
If I had money, I'd buy it off you.
I have money and I will buy it off you, but I'm sure they're going to be having to sign an NDA. There's
I
certain
mean,
things we're not going to tell you guys, and I'm sorry that we can't do it right this second, but we will tell you why later. And it's not that we're
it'll
trying
make
to be
sense.
sneaky with you guys or hold back content because we're not content creators. It's none of that. All it is that we just don't want to put the current plan we have at risk by saying more than that.
Also, can we talk about stupid farmer shirt and his children-sized chinks and his 5X hat
Oh yeah, that
in the middle of fucking July that's a
the
black
farrier was
felt
laughing. The
and
farrier was laughing
he
with
can't
me and
even
was
keep the damn
like,
thing straight?
yeah, the farrier was laughing. He goes, I called him the cosplay cowboy, and he goes, well, obviously he's wearing a felt hat in the middle of summer with his chinks that are too small, and his what did he say? His chinks that were too small. He didn't say anything about his shirt, which I'm surprised. And his
That's a
spurs.
fucking
He goes,
farmer ass shirt.
yeah.
And his Tractor
Are
Supply
either
spurs, which I mean, nothing against Tractor Supply spurs, but you don't know how to use them.
are
Hmm.
either of y'all able to see the group chat like soon?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Is there something important going on? Like emergency or no?
Not like end the live right now, emergency, no, but
Okay. Wait. Yeah, we've had that before. If there's emergency, then I can always end the live and come back later. No, people cannot get in trouble for spotting him in public places because he's a public figure, first of all, and there's no expectation of privacy on public lands. He's tried that already. He's called the police on someone that was not with us prior, named Josh, and the
I'd
police
agree.
basically told him that no, that we're allowed to film in public. And honestly, we're not harassing him. We've told everybody not to engage, and we'll repeat that. Do not engage with him because he will claim harassment. Um, because he ain't gonna get the money he thinks from the horses. He's gonna try to get it another way, I'm sure. So I do believe he has his paperwork, and I've said that for a while. Because he's just gotten past too many officers. Although I know a lot of them did not have it, but we
The
did get
thing,
a officer yesterday that said he had them.
the thing that worries me is like we haven't had any confirmation that officers have actually checked and physically seen his paperwork.
Yesterday they did,
Did they? Okay.
but
Because
they checked the Coggins. So when I talked to the brand inspector yesterday, the brand inspector said as long as he's just passing through, it really all he needs is a health certificate and current Coggins.
yeah, that is all he needs legally. Um, the thing that bothered me in the beginning is everybody was just asking him if he had his paperwork, and he was saying yes. Like
Yeah. Well,
that's
now I
like if
do
I get
know.
stopped on a
I
fucking
was,
meth bust, and they're like, "Do you have meth?" and I'm like, "No." Okay, well you're free to go. I could have fucking 7 kilos in
yeah,
the truck.
but to say that I was on the phone with somebody yesterday when they were inside of a vet office that he had called. I don't want to say who the vet office was, but he had called the vet office because he needs to renew the Coggins on one of them. They couldn't say anything other than that, but they were not even an equine vet, so they were like, well, we don't even take horses here, but also we're over a month out. But he
Yeah,
was trying to get one of them. He was trying to get one renewed. Now, it doesn't mean that it's expired. It could be coming up on expiration.
yeah. Or he could. I mean, by all accounts, he's planning to ditch the horses wherever he ends and just leave them there and come back to Texas. So he could just be proactively trying
Yeah.
to renew them as soon as or like closer to the end date so that he doesn't have to worry about getting them shipped.
Or it was near Kellogg, and so it's just a really small rural area. I don't know that there's a whole lot of equine vets in that general area.
It's, yeah,
Again, if he doesn't have a truck and a trailer, getting them to places is not like the easiest thing. And he's also trying to keep moving, right? He doesn't want to stop very long because he knows the longer he is somewhere, people are going to spot him. They're going to know who he is, and law enforcement is going to be alerted. And in Idaho, that boy could not get, I'm sure, a wink of sleep because people were after him, and we didn't even know where he camped last night. And that's just by random people that saw where he was and let us know.
yeah.
But all of them, everybody that saw them has said that they are so skinny. They are so emaciated. The only thing is both of them have a big pot belly, and that is likely worms.
So Coyote and Wolf, pressing animal cruelty charges after the fact in Texas, it would not be Texas's jurisdiction to that itself. The crime didn't occur in Texas, so it'd be hard to charge here.
Yeah, and I mean, yes, Lorenado, I am so proud of the Idahoans and Washington and the people in Texas that did care. Because we actually had a lot of help in Texas. It just wasn't law enforcement help. But of the citizens that actually cared, there was actually a lot of Texans. There was a lot of people in Wyoming, and there was a lot of people in Montana. The problem was the laws. But Idaho has just kicked it out of the water. So they
And I
saw them
see people in
untaxed.
here talking about, yeah, I see people in here talking about like, will this help the law get changed? The problem is not necessarily the laws. I've done all the back work finding the laws that should have ended this already, that are already on the books. The problem has been enforcement of those laws. Like in Idaho specifically, 3 different definitions of abuse he's basically committed. But enforcing that and the law being there are 2 completely separate things. Like the
So
cops being
ponies on,
unfamiliar with the law or unwilling to do the
yeah.
paperwork could impact that as much as anything.
And they also know that he's just passing through, so they know he's not going to show up to court, right? So Ponies
Yeah.
on Parole wants to know, Ponies on Patrol, what is the end goal here besides getting the horses removed from him? Jail? Honestly, some accountability would be freaking awesome so people don't try to recreate this. But more than
That's
anything, I
the
just
big
want the
thing.
horses safe, right? And I want him to not able to own another horse ever again because he obviously doesn't know how to take care of them.
I think we've all got
But
our
if he
own
goes to jail,
reasons for
yeah, I care less if he goes to jail, to
we've
be
all got
honest
our
with you.
own
It would be
reasons for
nice.
yeah. We all have our own reasons for being involved in this and trying to get it stopped. And my big reason, yes, but my biggest cause here is like, I don't want some other harebrained idiot getting an idea that this is a cool thing to do with zero preparation. I don't have a problem with it with preparation. But
Yeah, and
the
I don't
more
either.
you encourage this and let this fly, the more some idiot copycat is going to come do the same shit, and it's going to happen all over again, and it's going to make the whole horse community look like a bunch of gunsel fucks.
This has
Yeah, and I
happened
mean,
before
he's not even
multiple
part of the horse
times, and it
community.
will happen again.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
not even part of the horse community, let's be honest. But for me to say, do I want him to go to jail? I mean, I would love some accountability. I'd like him to dish out some money and pay a lot of fines and fees. Does he have to go to jail? I mean, it would be nice, but do I really care? I don't really care. What I care about is what happens to these horses. Again, none of us are against long riders. There's just a way to do things correctly, and he's
Yeah.
done everything but.
Well, and I will say, like, I would love to see this silver-tongued asshole be freaking licking prison shine out of some dude named Big Jim's ass.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't happen, that doesn't happen.
I'm coming from the barn, you guys, so I look like hell. I'm just gonna say it. He's so I did also find out he is an American citizen. That was checked because he is armed.
And the other thing on that too, like, it probably wouldn't have made a lot of difference, honestly.
Yeah, it doesn't. But the thing is that we do know a little bit more information now that we're kind of getting to the end, finally. But as far as, I don't know if he's got dual citizenship. All I know is that he does have American citizenship. I'm just coming from the barn. I look like absolute crap. But it's okay. I don't really care. Basically, my goal here is just to make sure that these horses, these saint of horses, are taken care of. One of the helping us said, Pete looks like he shouldn't even make it past this coming winter. Like, that's how bad he is right now. And, that makes me really sad because we weren't able to stop this until it got so bad. And even now, even though we didn't stop it, we did get the vindication of that we were correct. We knew what was going to happen from the very beginning. As soon as we got about a week into the whole thing, at first I was kind of laughing about, like, what a dumbass, right? And then I was like, oh, look at the way that Falcon is starting to lose weight. And I was like, well, that's not okay, right? And then all of a sudden, they're losing more weight, and then we see that he's feeding only here and there and sparsely, and feeding roadside grasses. And let's not bring race into it. We're talking about citizenship. He can be white in Canada, he can be black in Canada, he can be black in America, and doesn't matter, you guys. This is about him being an asshole, not about where he's from. It doesn't matter to me at all. So what's next? We have contingency plans that are going on right now, and we can't really go into them just because we don't want them to get back to him. Right now, he is allowed to carry firearms because he is an American citizen, and it's a Second Amendment right, and he's coming from an open carry state, so he's fine to be carrying. I can say that there's been a lot of creepy encounters and things that ladies later on, and maybe 14-year-old boys, need to be really cautious of, that we have not some of our people.
Yeah, he said some really concerning shit in the last few days.
Yep. Not even just the stuff that you guys know already. There's been other things that have happened that are really bad. Yes, he's concealed carrying. We can't tell you because it'll out our source, and she's actually very worried about being outed at this point, and she's kind of scared of him. And he does drink quite a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, what we can say is that he's a gross person.
We've heard constant reports of him smelling like booze.
And he's looking for them minors.
And not the kind with pickaxes.
No.
He is a gross person.
Yeah, if he's caught in Idaho riding the horses, that's strike 2 on him, and I can guarantee. Ooh, Kiwi, that's good call. Can you carry and drink in public?
You can't be in a bar. Technically, you can. In Texas, you can conceal carry and be consuming. You just cannot do it in a bar. That's, what is it, the 51% rule?
Yeah, I actually heard that you could even ride a horse while drinking in Idaho, whereas a lot of states don't allow that. In Idaho,
the thing is, legal limit still exists for that. So you can still, technically, it's still operating, not a motor vehicle, but a vehicle while intoxicated if you're over the limit.
Let's see. Oh, can you still open carry in a car in Idaho? That ended in Texas like 10 years ago. I know in Texas, when I first moved here, you could do that too. I don't know. This thing keeps popping onto my face. I look like Rudolph.
Jesus Christ, that's a blush.
Sorry.
What are you so embarrassed about?
I'm blushing, you guys. I believe if your original state allows you to open carry or conceal carry without a permit and you're just traveling through, I believe you are actually allowed, because we were looking through this. Yeah, seriously. I was out in the sun today.
It depends on state. Not all states are reciprocal with licensure. Most are. I saw Lauren say that he can't in Washington because they don't do reciprocity. I don't think New York does either. There are several that do not honor other states' concealed licenses.
Well, that's good to know, because we know for a fact that he's carrying. And he is going to be going into Washington any day, any second, any minute. He's going into Washington, you guys. We know that he's going up to Spokane.
He's definitely on his way to Spokane.
Yes. Okay.
Pony's on parole. No, he can't blame us if some random person engages with him. We're telling you guys not to engage. What people do that we don't know, that are following him and get angry at him, we have no control over that. And none of us have condoned violence at all whatsoever on him. But what people do on their own time, you're an adult. You make your own decisions. He can try to sue whoever he wants, but I can tell you I have a lot more probably money to throw away than he does.
I can promise you, I have a better lawyer than he does, and I don't have shit for money.
And Wes, I was going to say, there's such thing as not, you can't sue somebody that doesn't have money.
Yeah, but also, like, I got a
There's a
really
for it.
damn good lawyer.
We know that he was in.
He sues the government a lot, and he rarely loses. Coeur d'Alene.
I'm sorry.
Coeur d'Alene.
All right, Coeur d'Alene. That's where he was
Like
earlier today. So anything from that point forward, we can't say anything else.
Oh, I think I just found something.
Is there anything going on in the chat that we should be looking at?
People are wanting to know if whoever saw him riding an hour later got a photo. Photos have been hard to come by. EXIF data would show the timestamp of when he was riding, but we don't have.
And I can tell you guys, it's not by a lack of trying. We are always asking people, and it's not even for you guys, to be honest with you. I'm sorry to say it. It's not for social media. It's because we want to show the law enforcement. We want to say, hey, here he is on the horses again, or here he is. Look at the lame walk, or whatever it may be. And if for some reason, a lot of people are just scared to whip out their phone and record him where he can see them recording. And I don't know. I don't understand it because I wouldn't give a shit, but it does blow your cover too if you're going to be trying to be nonchalant and continue to get information.
Hey, Brianna, check the chat.
Something I need to look at?
Brianna sent something and I looked it up.
Interesting.
Can he conceal carry?
Let's see. Oh, he still might be Netflix famous. Somebody might pick this up like Tiger King.
Or like, don't fuck with cats. Don't fuck with horses. Which he literally ran from the law. He got on those horses and he was running them on a paved trail. Yes, he has an abscess, and that came straight from the farrier.
Hey, Brianna, was that supposed to be a 6 or a 7?
7.
Okay.
Yes. The farrier had to drop him back off in the gas station. And so when they showed up, ACS or the sheriff, can't remember which one, was there. And they saw that, everything that was going on. The farrier left. He did not stick around because he had other things to do. And it was really hard to get a hold of him because we were in a really, really bad service area. I was in one and so were they.
Yeah, they literally told you after they walked out of the house there was not going to be service.
Yeah. From what we understand, he did get multiple tickets. And he was
at the very least, he got 3 pieces of paper,
right.
And if it was a warning, it should have been consolidated.
Yeah, so we know that he got handed 3 pieces of paper. And from what we understand, the girl that was saying that they were tickets. So, yeah, you can see the video on the Real Guy on Brianna's page. You can see that there's an officer and I'm talking to him. Right, so
big shout out.
They really went above and beyond yesterday, even trying to find him. He skipped over
for us and helping us. Big help.
No, if he's going to be in Spokane, it's probably going to be from tomorrow on.
Shit. Okay, I'm gonna send the thing from chat to a friend in the morning and see what he can find. He should be able to find what we're looking for.
If he's going to Washington to try, from what I understand of what he told the farrier, is that he had a PPE scheduled for tomorrow in Washington. Now, he told the farrier that he was going to be waiting a few days out because of the lameness in Pete. Now, whether he does or not, I don't know. But the only way that he was getting to Washington that quickly would be to trailer. Because that was a good 80 miles still. He was in Idaho as of at least 7 o'clock today.
Yeah.
7 o'clock my time. 5 o'clock your guys' that time.
So
Yeah, I mean,
to our knowledge, that's not totally confirmed. Liberty Lake.
No.
That's not confirmed. That's speculative. There's a lot of information going around that's speculative, being touted as fact. There's one individual we're very not happy with because she keeps speculating and acting like it's a fact, and then gets.
As far as doing a full recap, I'm not going to do a full recap right now. I'm tired. It's 11 o'clock, and I've been out in the sun all day and working on this for the last 2 nights. And as you can see, I am tired.
All right, so basically, bullet points. We found him. He ran on pavement. We got law enforcement and animal control involved. They caught up to him. And a farrier saw both of the horses. They noted abscess in the right hind in Falcon. They noticed lameness in Pete's right hind hock. They noted saddle sores and wounds. And gosh, there was and they are thin. They said they're thin.
Which we already could assume based
them.
on him not wanting to untack for the last set of law enforcement.
Also, yeah, Angie, it's not drama, it's not tea. This is abuse. This is dangerous. This is putting animals in harm's way.
It's not drama, it's not abuse, it's outing somebody who's doing something horribly fucking wrong.
But also, you know, and the reason that we even come on and tell you guys everything that's going on, first of all, is we do get people that like randomly will give us information, like last night when we had the loss. We were all very, very down about that. And this morning, this girl who had never heard anything about it, that had gone by and seen Falcon and Pete, she had just happened across the information, right? And so had we not put information out there, she wouldn't have known what to do and there wouldn't have been anything on it, right?
Yeah.
We also let you guys know what already happened because we know that a lot of you are just as invested emotionally with these horses as we are. And so we know that we are opening ourselves up for criticism, for hate, for love, for all of it. We know that. But in the end of the day, we have one goal, and that is saving these horses. And our second goal would be to hopefully not let it happen again.
Yeah, and I worked for Steve Metcalf for 2 years, so hate can't hurt me.
I mean, I could care less what people think, to be honest with you. But I just know that people have been on this since the very beginning, and you guys care just as much as we do. I think the smell is coming from Falcon's foot. However, I can say that one of the spotters from yesterday did see that they seemed like they'd been freshly maybe washed off in the creek, and they didn't smell so bad. So I'm wondering if he saw everything that was going on and finally cleaned them. So
it could be a number of things. It could be white line. It could be thrush.
Okay. White line as well, by the way.
Yeah. It could be that. It could be any kind of necrotic stuff in the frog that is not white line or thrush. And it could also be an oral abscess. The way he yanks on Falcon's mouth, it stands to reason that he could have, chipped a tooth apart, and that could have abscessed pretty easily.
And rain rot does smell as well. So I think it's an accumulation of many things all together. But thing that we have noticed, there's certain things that he has fixed because of everybody saying, this is what's going on, you're wrong, and he goes and fixes it. So trying to make himself look a little bit better.
But it's all the inconsequential shit.
Yeah, but I mean, even that little inconsequential stuff, it all adds up, right? And in the end of the day, any little win for those horses is a big win for those horses. Yeah, we were told that one of them, that Pete has, she said mold growing on his wiener, penis, whatever you want to call it.
Cool.
Yeah, that he had green stuff growing on it. Now, I would say normally I don't know if you guys have ever seen a horse's wang before, but they have smegma, a lot of them. So I don't know that that's what that was. It could have totally been just old oil and skin, and I mean, it looks gross.
I mean, that's why Rusty has a job.
Yep. So white line, guys, go look it up. It's a hoof thing.
White line is a bacterial infection between basically between the solar structure and the hoof wall that eats up into the tissue that holds the hoof on, essentially, and it starts smelling really bad.
And I can tell you right now, with him also likely, oh, there's another thing I just thought of, but that they are being ran on pavement, that they are have really bad nutrition, as well as the high sugar content feeds that he's feeding them, the sweet feeds. I mean, all of this is looking at mechanical laminitis, foundering, road founder. I mean, just so many things.
And not just the high sugar and starch feed, but the lack of enough forage. That's the bigger thing, is like they're definitely not getting enough grass.
The bell boot was hiding the abscess on the back foot, and then also the farrier said that both of them were missing a shoe. In fact, Pete is still missing a shoe.
Yeah,
he couldn't do it because his back hock was so ouchy that he couldn't bend that hock in order to put a shoe on him.
Yeah. So he's fighting a losing battle here, basically, against himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, what else can go wrong? The last thing that can go wrong is that just one of them goes down and doesn't get up, because he's got pretty much like a whole list of everything you don't want to go wrong with your horse is happening to his horses.
Yep. And the wildest thing to me is this is literally week 2. This is what we said was going to happen at some point. Fucking Batum, but we're the idiots. The thing about it that pisses me off on that front, I've got 30 plus experience dealing with horses. Like, I grew up ranching. I've been riding solo since I was 3. Like, and it was always my responsibility to deal with the things that came up. It wasn't like my uncles were going to freaking pick out a horse hoof for me or some shit, you know? Like, most of us that have commented on this have 15, 20, 30 plus years of experience, but the guy that bought a horse 3 weeks before leaving that rode for a few months when he was 16, who doesn't freaking want to learn because he'd rather be right. That's the problem with the industry as a whole. Like, in coaching, I deal with that sometimes. If you don't want to learn, you'd rather be right, we're going to have issues. And that's what's going on here. Like, you have to default to experience to get better, and he refuses to do it. And there were so many opportunities where he could have.
Yeah. Yeah, someone said we were the Karens, quote unquote. And honestly, I could care less. See, the thing is when you're not something, when somebody calls you that thing, let it roll off your shoulders, because I care less about what he's also telling people that I'm just jealous of his ride and that I wish that I could do it. And I don't think he realizes that I have horses and I can absolutely do this. I just care about my kids and I don't want to leave them for that long. But also I care for my horses, and I would not go on a trip like this without making sure that they are in the right shape for endurance, and that I had this thing completely planned out the correct way.
See, and I'm on that same front. Like, I like showing, I like winning money, I like competing. I don't have any interest in taking a long ride, and I'm being accused of wanting to do the same thing. Like,
I would love to do a long ride.
If you'll look right here, I'm about to play a Star Wars video game. I ain't going on the road without my Star Wars video game.
I'm studying for my master's in animal welfare.
So if a person that's getting a PPE done is listening, here's my suggestion to you, that if he is saying it's a stone bruise, a veterinarian will easily know that it's a stone bruise. He can still do the entire rest of the PPE, knowing that there's a stone bruise. Stone bruise might abscess, but it's healable. It will go, most of them go away without any kind of sort of consequence. Just go into the PPE knowing that this horse has a stone bruise and that it's going to be okay. Right? And still force him to do the PPE now. Don't let him sit with the horse inside somebody's backyard and see. Yeah, so I want to know if there's public record of the ticket as well, but also we're going to try. Oh, Brianna, I think you're going to pull up see if there's any kind of, what's it called, right? Body footage.
Yeah, so that lovely person that's been helping us. They said that would become public info after she puts it in the system, obviously. Hopefully that would be tomorrow. And then as soon as that happens, I'm going to try to request all of that. And they said that would take a couple of days.
And then, of course, sanctuaries, especially if it means they're going to get some clout, are going to try to take them. Because look at there's a BLM one that always takes like the really beautiful stallions, etc., from the Mustang groups, and they will pay like $15,000 for one horse because it's a famous horse, instead of saving, they're $125 each usually. So instead of saving all of those, they'd rather spend $15,000 on one horse just because it's a famous horse. So, Foxtrot. Oh, well, I mean, all of us would take these horses on.
I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't.
I would, because I know that I can, if nothing else, I can afford a pasture pet, and that's okay.
Well, yeah, if it came down to it, pasture would work, but that's no life, man.
Oh, my horses
Like,
are living
after
a
what they've
pasture
been
life.
through.
They love it.
Well, you've seen my pastures.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
prepared I'm prepared to
love
put Pete in a pasture.
Like, they need to be retired and just maintenance for the rest of their lives.
Yeah,
Enjoying
that's my
life and eating
I would
grass.
obviously give them their maintenance. So really, in all reality, as long as they're going to a place that they're never going to leave again and they're in a good spot, that's really the main goal for me. I would love to take either one of them or both of them. It doesn't really matter to me, just to make sure that they're taken care of. The vet bills are going to be super expensive. If I know that Brianna really wants Pete because she has a pasture and a horse just like Pete. And I think that if it came down to it, I would start a GoFundMe for her in order to pay for the veterinary care that he's going to need, because he's going to need some major care.
Who the fuck is this? Cyril is an amazing human. I'm not even convinced he's human. I think he's garbage. And you spelled Pete wrong, Jamie.
Pete and Falcon are amazing. Cyril is a disgusting person who shouldn't be around vulnerable people and animals.
I'm just going to say amazing, but not, you missed a word, like amazingly stupid human.
It's like in Three Amigos where they're like, oh yeah, he's infamous. And they're like, what's infamous mean? More than famous. I think she just misunderstands what amazing means. You don't need to know him. Yeah. I don't know a lot of people I think very little of. Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Cosby. I don't need to meet them to know they're pieces of shit.
He's shown us plenty. Amazing people don't.
Like, he's painted himself in that light. We didn't do anything.
And definitely keep him away from minors. Where is she? I'm gonna just block her. Well, I'm gonna silence her so that
like,
she
that's
can watch, because I
amazing.
know it's probably
That's amazing.
them.
Shallow people.
Well, and it's amazing that Jamie's, if she had interaction with him, she bought his bullshit. Like, how easily influenced is this person?
Yeah, I muted her, so she still has to like listen to us if she stays on.
God, you're a special kind of idiot.
There was a night that he had no grain. He had only enough grain, barely enough grain, actually, is what she said. Barely enough grain to feed a dog. And she drove him to the grocery store to feed him apples, or feed the horses apples and carrots.
Yeah, because she was
for
so
dinner.
Hey, actually, I've got I've got an offer for Jane Wheatley. You see these blue suede shoes? These are Elvis's actual blue suede shoes. I'll sell them to you for $100,000. You're that
They're
fucking
amazing.
gullible.
They're amazing, actually.
But not right now because he's got to go take them for like getting the heel fixed on it.
Actually, funny
He'll have
story.
it for you in like a week after
Funny
he takes
story.
it.
The soles are definitely coming undone.
Well, what I was trying to say is like it's just a stone bruise, but you go and put
Yeah.
like the Elvis's like signature in it. It's gonna take a
Yeah,
little while, guys.
Like
This filter is driving me crazy.
this
Stop
is
it.
the problem with the world is not enough people have a sense of cynicism. Like take people you trust at their word, but like vet people a little bit. Like I've got friends I've known for 10 years that like I'm not going to take their word for shit.
I think horse people don't take anybody's word. Like we take it with a grain of salt because we know there's so many liars.
It's a fucking brutal
It's kid
industry.
safe. It's kid safe. It's for sale, not on sale.
I'm a trainer.
Dating. We're friends.
Hey,
and,
hey, 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 hey. I am a trainer.
No, it said, "Are we dating?" It said, "Slim Jenkins, is Wes and Tassie dating?" No, I'm married.
Tassie's like 10, 15 years too old for me.
Oh, thanks.
When was your birthday?
July 84.
Yeah, you're like 10 to 15 years too old for me.
Walking a tight line there, bud.
And I always walk a tight line. Why do you think I'm still single?
Oh. I don't care because I'm married, so I don't really care what anybody says, to be honest with you. I don't even do my hair anymore because I'm married. So I don't really give a shit.
I don't do mine either. I need to stop
I already
Casey, I'm always firing shots. Call me freaking 34 is like gonna take a lot to get me to date a 34-year-old. There's one girl who's like 6 months older than me. When she's 34, I would date her. That's about it. Oh, I am cocky. I'm not gonna lie. I'm stupidly overconfident. I don't think I'm really cocky because it's all an act. Lexi,
Yeah,
don't call me out like that. I should have never
yeah.
posted about the truck cards.
The people that have seen him in person, seen the horses in person, and seen them without tack on, cannot believe the condition that they are. One of them said that there was his spine was, and you could see it in all of it, even his latest picture that he just put up, saying that there's a stone bruise. You can see their spines. Yeah, how old are you, Wes?
33, I think. Hold on. Yeah, 33.
33?
Did this just turn into like a West dating app? God dang it. I'm sorry, Uncle Puff. Why does everybody want to know how old I am? This is getting uncomfortable.
Probably because you just dissed me for my age.
Well, you're also married with like, what, 3 kids?
Oh, my husband locked me out of the house.
That should have been your one and only excuse.
Cassie, I am sorry, but married is very much not my type.
Oh no, I'm
That's fine. That's
I
great.
like to call
Good for
myself
you.
a serial monogamist.
And you could have left it at that.
He's like, no, you're too old.
I've got some stories. I've got some stories about older women, but we'll save those for after all this bullshit clears up.
Yes, the horses are still in Cyril Baskin's thing for now, but he's got a lawful order not to ride. And also, from what we understand, we have not confirmed this, that he got a couple of tickets today.
Yeah. Also, somebody just said, Wes, please go on that new Farmers Dating show. I actually had a friend whose girlfriend signed me up for that show. But
on Farmers Only? Are you on
I didn't have enough.
FarmersOnly.com?
No. They've got the what farmer wants a wife, farmer needs a wife, whatever that is. But I'm also not a farmer, and I do not want to be. I don't want to dress like this. Like, that's plaid. No.
I should like break into my own house right now.
Do you not have a key to your house?
It's here. My husband locked the front door and I lost my key. Okay. What are you barking at, Bruce? My own dog is mad at me. Hi, baby. I've been sitting outside for like the last half an hour. Oh, there. Hi, baby gal.
Hey, Patsy's kid.
Okay, try not to. There's no boobs showing, right? Hey, mommy. Okay, I'll be in just a second. Hi, Bubba's. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna have to get off the live, so I can spend some time with my kiddos. I've been at the barn. Oh, God, this thing is driving me crazy. I've been at the barn all day.
I'll catch y'all later, and I'm honestly terrified that people are going to be sliding into my DMs now.
We got some stuff to talk
I'm gonna go
about,
catch
by
up
the way.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go jump on.